The specific draft policy that seems to be in the news at the moment is that farmers would currently need to give 50% of their land to the workers, and that the department would pay for that land and put that money in a trust to be used by both parties. So, what is your opinion or your take on that proposed situation?
I think on paper, it's something that would be very, very difficult, A, to legislate, and number two, to police, to enforce, and to monitor. Because A, there's got to be an agreement that is reached. There's to be a consensus of the minds between a landowner and a potential and a farm worker. And the details of that agreement have to be reduced in writing. And to a large extent, what is designed in the draft policy, depends very largely on consensus and willingness on the part of landowners. And I'm not sure that there is any legislation that exists currently that would make it compulsory for a landowner to relinquish 50% of ownership, unless, of course, we are talking about an expropriation for a public purpose or for purposes of public interest. And it is not at all clear to me whether or not all instances where there is a farm which has to be relinquished to farm workers presents an instance where it is in the public interest or with the public purpose. I think it would be very interesting how those details find themselves on paper and in legislation, and also whether or not there would be sufficient constitutional, whether or not the policy would pass constitutional muster down the line when it does become legislation. I think it's going to be something that's hugely debated, and it's going to be interesting how the policies that have emanated from the various ANC conferences will culminate ultimately into a piece of legislation that is constitutionally lawful and fair.